We have an amazing Hispanic population in Texas, but in this state, people want the law followed. Whether you like the policy or not, the fact that he has unconstitutionally made new law is extremely frustrating to people in this state who care about the Constitution and who care about the rule of law.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on this very program earlier this week discussing the lawlessness inherent in our president's executive amnesty plan. Welcome back to America's Forum with Miranda Kahn, J.D. Hayworth.
Yeah, the president's amnesty plan hit a roadblock, though, after Judge Andrew Hansen, of Texas, blocked the implementation of the action.
And now, the president plans to fight this ruling. An appeals court hearing in New Orleans next month. We got to talk more about this. Joining us for an in-depth analysis, Chris Farrell, Director of Research and Investigations at Judicial Watch. He's Skyping in from Washington. Remaining with us from Newsmax New York, our good friend Ellis Henican. So, Chris, Judge Hansen says despite his ruling, the Obama administration was still processing applications, deferring deportations, and issuing work permits under the guise of DACA. It's not good to mislead the judge, is it?
It is not, and one might expect to face some sort of judicial wrath for doing so. You know, this is a Washington, D.C. parlor game that is an effort really at trying to, unconstitutionally rewrite the law under the guise of, well, this is just prosecutorial discretion. What's absent from any real discussion of the issue is the consequences, the real human consequences on the border, and what the toll it's taking on our law enforcement, and the fact that we don't even control our border. We have no idea who's entering this country and what they're doing. And so while the lawyers do what lawyers do and argue, and the political operatives play little word games, the consequences on the border are grave. And we've reduced our Border Patrol agents to Greyhound bus ticket agents, right? Right now, their number one job is apprehending folks running through city streets along the border once they get into towns, getting them a Greyhound bus ticket, and giving them $200 in traveling money. That's what's going on today now in Texas.
Guys, can I add some facts to this ideological discussion, if you don't mind for a second? First of all, there is not right now, let's just make this clear, there is not some huge torrent of massive immigration coming across. In fact, because of the economic challenges in Mexico and here right now, there are more people going in the other direction.
I think Chris has, let's hear it. Chris has got some other numbers he wants to share. Go ahead.
Well, if I could finish my sentence, I'd like to.
Weeks on the border. What you're saying is not true.
Okay.
It simply isn't true.
Well, it is absolutely true. And Chris, if you would let me finish the sentence, I'll try to make my point. It seems to me that while you poo-poo the notion of prosecutorial discretion, there's no getting around it. Every single day, prosecutors, both state and federal in this country, make decisions about one case is more important than another case. It is a perfectly appropriate judgment for the Justice Department to say, you know what? Before we start deporting 8-year-old kids and nice mothers and grandmothers who have completely obeyed the law for decades in America, maybe we ought to go get some drug dealers and some real criminals. Perfectly appropriate and exactly what's happening here. I know you don't like it, but that's what's going on.
Ellis, if you weren't so misinformed, it wouldn't be so sad. The Justice Department and Homeland Security together, exercising this prosecutorial discretion you're so fond of, have released 169,500 convicted criminals back into the American public. 169,500. Those aren't my numbers.
So you would rather they ignore those people and evict a bunch of grandmothers? Is that what you want?
Back on the streets. I'd like you to explain how that's a good thing.
I want my
crimes. It's their numbers. ISIS numbers.
Unfortunately, the time is drawing short. To you both, we thank you. Chris Farrell in Washington, Ellis Henican at Newsmax New York. A lively discussion. We'll have you back to talk more. And when we come back, Hour 3 of America's Forum here on Newsmax TV.